Hey everyone, welcome to another No Questions Left Behind, where we will be answering all or most of the questions that we didn't get to during our live this week. So thank you all for joining us during the live, of course, if you were there, and thank you for joining us here today. We will be starting off with a giveaway that we didn't do during the live, so stay tuned for that. But first off, don't forget to use the discount code LIQUID20 for 20% off all liquid car care on our website. That is going through, is it the
26th.
26th. All right, so you have until the 26th to get in, take advantage of that 20% off discount code. LIQUID20, again, is the code you want to use. We had a couple questions during the live, like does that work on the aerosols? This or that, any of our liquid products. So it won't apply to products like our random orbitals, but all of the liquid car care, you will get 20% off. So it's a great deal and really the biggest discount code that we do, or biggest discount that we do.
And that does include 20% off our ceramic liquid wax.
Yep.
So if you weren't or aren't selected as a winner today, you can get 20% off.
Yeah, so since we didn't give away one of the orbital kits that we talked about giving away during the live on Wednesday night, we're going to give one of those out to start today. So Tim Callahan, you were with us in the live. Hopefully you are with us today as well. Tim, please email us at winners@griotsgarage.com to redeem your prize. You'll win one of our beginner orbital kits. So that'll come with the G9 random orbital. You get some correcting cream, some pads. It's a great way to get started if you don't already have one of those. So reach out to us and we'll get you set up. Thank you for all your great questions, Tim. And everyone else, you guys also asked some great questions. We love and appreciate all of the participation in the comments section, so please keep that up. It enters you in a chance to win one of our giveaways. We will be giving out at least one more giveaway during this episode of No Questions Left Behind, based on some of the other questions that we got during the live. So let's go ahead and get started.
Yeah.
I'll kick it off with Al Sherwood asks, ceramic liquid wax, how about over paint protection film? So it's a great question. We get that one with a lot of our protectants, and yes, you can use ceramic liquid wax over paint protection film, as we recommend with really all of our protectants, or most any product that you're using on paint protection film. Be sure to test it in an inconspicuous area prior to going over the full surface that's covered in paint protection film. Depending on the age of the film or condition, sometimes you can get inconsistent finishes if the surface isn't in great condition. But most time, or all the time really, in my experience on paint protection film, if it's in good shape, you're not going to have any problems. You do want to make sure it's free of contaminants and any residual dirt or anything, of course. But yeah, great way to add some life to paint protection film and keep it looking good.
Yep, help prevent any oxidation, that color change that you get as it ages and starts to oxidize and break down. Next question, Joel Wilt asked, will this work on chrome on a motorcycle? I have a couple points I want to hit on here. What I would recommend is ceramic metal polish, which actually is formulated specifically for metal, has a light abrasive in it, as well as the ceramic protection that you're wanting. That's what I would recommend. But if you have metal that's already perfect and you just want protection, you could get away with using ceramic liquid wax. Depending on the intricacy of the surface that you're working on, you might prefer the ceramic 3-in-1. It really depends on the surface itself. If you have more specific questions you want to get into and want a specific response to directly your situation, feel free to reach out to our customer service team. But ceramic metal polish is going to be the best all-around solution for metal, especially chrome.
Great answer, Stevie. Jim asks, can I layer it again after 24 hours for additional benefits? Yes, you can. As with all of our strict protectant products, waiting 12 to 24 hours and applying an additional layer will give you extended durability. Again, with ceramic liquid wax, you want to make sure you wait that period so that you don't run into any issues with film or residues. But it is a good product to layer. Anything beyond a second coat you're kind of hitting the law of diminishing returns there, and you're going to be spending more time and energy without getting much, if any, additional benefit. So from what we've found, 2 layers really of any of our ceramics, same is true for ceramic 3-in-1 wax, will give you additional durability, and that's really the optimal setup. Any more than that, you're not really getting much extra benefit.
Yep. And then Adam S. asked, how long can I leave leftover diluted polygloss in the foaming cannon? I've noticed I'm only using 1/3 on 2 cars with a gas pressure washer and the pink pickup tube. So I really wanted to touch on this because it sounds like you're diluting the product, but you're also using a pickup tube, and that's also diluting the product even further. So what I would recommend instead, especially if you're using our Boss foam cannon, is just threading it directly onto the bottle of polygloss with that smaller thread on the inside of the cap, and use the metering tip. That way you don't have to pre-dilute, and you can just use it that way. Once you're done, pull it out. Of course, rinse water through your cannon still, but you can just put the lid back on the bottle of product as opposed to having a canister of pre-diluted product. You can still use it pre-diluted if you'd like, and we do sell a jar and cap separately. So if you'd like, you can have little canisters essentially stored with a cap of the leftover solution, but it's going to save you a lot of time. You're not going to have to mix and measure and pour these dilutions, and it sounds like you're already kind of doing the auto dilution step, so you may as well just kick the dilution out the door, save that time, and not have to worry about storing that dilution.
Yeah, unless you're being very conservative with your concentrate there, which polygloss is good stuff, but you will get a better result using it, as Stevie mentioned, just the metering tip, not pre-diluted plus metering tip. So yeah, pick up one of those extra reservoirs and cap. It's a great way to go, so you don't run into issues clogging up your cannon, leaving it in the mixture or the concentrate there. Pierre Wicks, this is a good question. I like this one. As you come out with the new ceramic products, are you discontinuing older products? Or tell us what they replace. So, really as we come out with any new product, whether it be ceramic or not, we're always evaluating our portfolio and looking to see what should be replaced, if anything, or what can survive side by side with each other. I would say, with ceramic liquid wax, it's a good example because we did previously discontinue our liquid poly wax, which is an entirely synthetic wax similar to ceramic liquid wax. And ceramic liquid wax effectively replaced poly wax. So there are lots of situations where we launch a new product and we discontinue or kind of phase out an old one. At the very least, we're keeping an eye on anything that's older that serves a similar function to watch out for cannibalization and make a decision down the road, which you've seen us do with several different products over the years.
Yeah, and we did have a lot of people upset that we discontinued polywax as soon as we discontinued it, but the hard part is if you're not purchasing a product or there's a far diminishing influx, I guess, if the sales diminish enough, sometimes it just doesn't make sense to keep a product that just isn't selling anymore when there's clearly a preference of a new product. So it's not that we're just, oh, well, we have this new product, so we're kicking the other one out. You guys have commented on how, sometimes we have, multiple options for car washes, for example, and you guys are like, well, which one do I want then? There are different aspects of each product that play well in different areas, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses. So it's not that we're kicking one to the curb just because we launched a new one.
Oh, it's a very hard decision too. I think there have been some pretty passionate arguments about keeping certain products or discontinuing them. Us as product developers especially, you may have developed a product years ago that was your baby and you loved it and it's on the chopping block. That's not an easy situation to approach, but got to keep an eye out or keep lookout for what's best for the company and you guys as customers. Us staying in business and doing well keeps the new products flowing and the good ones in stock. So it's always a tough decision when we do have to discontinue something. Polywax, I remember when we launched that, it took a lot of time and energy and work, but it lived a very good life and then started to see a decline, so we had to let that one go. Just an example, but yeah, it's always a tough decision.
Yep. Frank Berry asked, do you like the sponge or the microfiber pad for application? That's a good call out. We didn't really talk about it yesterday, but you do have the microfiber applicator pad as an option to apply waxes. My personal preference is the red foam pad, but the microfiber pad would work just as well to apply that. And I think you also mentioned yesterday something about overspray with the ceramic 3-in-1. If you're not careful and leave that overspray, it can kind of get gummy as it dries. And this would be a good application method for that as well if you wanted to spray it onto the applicator and then wipe it onto the surface, then wipe it dry.
Yep. Yeah, my favorite part about the red foam applicator pads is that they do of course they are going to soak in some product, but they do a really good job delivering it directly to the surface. The microfiber applicator will tend to absorb a little bit more, but still a great option for application. So got a couple depending on your preference there. Let's see. Enthusiast asks, how often should I wash to preserve ceramic liquid wax? I sometimes go a month or two between washes. Depending on what time of year, that can be a good or bad thing. If the vehicle's not getting very dirty, washing less is going to preserve what you have on there. I will say, if the vehicle is getting heavily soiled, specifically with like road film, the exposure to that road film on the surface, continually can actually degrade, some of the protection underneath it as well. So there's a fine balance. During the spring and summer months, I would recommend probably every other week is a good kind of regimen to be on for washing. Of course, you can wash every week if you want. During the winter, it's going to be harder to do, but again, I would say every 2 to 4 weeks is a good process to be on. If you have a garage, you can supplement that with lighter soiling rinseless washes inside, or using a quick detail spray or a waterless wash in between. And as long as you're using a good pH balanced solution for your washing, you don't have to worry too much about degrading what's on the surface. Of course, every time you clean it, you're going to degrade it very marginally, but using a good pH balanced product and then supplementing with ceramic speed shine, ceramic wash and coat, ceramic rinseless wash, those types of products as well will make sure you have excellent durability.
Yep. Then Joel Wilt asked, what would be best to use on a four-wheeler that is outside for a long time? I think that's a perfect question, being the time of year that we're going into. All of your fun toys are going to come out of storage and get some use, probably get really muddy. So I would say ceramic liquid wax is going to be a great option because you're going to get that extreme extended durability. You're not going to have to really reapply through the season. So you'd get your full probably spring and summer of fun with the toy before you really need to clean it deeply and put it back away. And even so, it's going to be ready for the next time you pull it out.
Solid. Rooftop Korean asks, which ceramic wax product would work best for single stage paint, or would they work similarly? Excellent question. Single stage paint can sometimes be a little bit finicky to different protectant products out there. I have pretty extensive experience with our ceramic all-in-one on single stage, and it's an awesome solution. Helps brighten up that surface, give you some light to moderate defect removal, as well as apply ceramic. And even on oxidized, chalky single stage, I've gotten great results from ceramic all-in-one. To be completely honest, I think I've only tried ceramic liquid wax on single stage once. It was single stage that was in good shape, and it worked very well also. Of course, if single stage is oxidized or chalky, has that really dull, faded look to it, you're going to want some polishing aspect either prior to your protective step or during, with an all-in-one like ceramic all-in-one. But I think ceramic all-in-one is usually my go-to for single stage.
Yeah, and I think we've both experienced single stage paint that is just a pain in the rear, and no matter what you do, you're wanting to pull your hair out while you're polishing it. Those test sections are really going to be your lifesaver. Do not do larger sections without checking your work and doing a test section.
Yep.
Trust us. DeMonte Detailing asked, would water spot remover also be safe to use during the decon process? Helps in the spring after a rough winter. Water spot remover would ideally be used after a clean and then a mechanical decontamination if needed. So if you feel that roughness on the surface, ideally you would remove that first with either the traditional clay bar or a synthetic option, and then come in with the water spot remover to remove those minerals that have begun to etch. But again, keep in mind, as long as the water spot is moderately fresh and not really etched into that surface, you're going to be able to remove it with the water spot remover. The longer those water spots sit on there, and especially if you have really high TDS, maybe a sprinkler hit the car and it's just been sitting on there and etching, water spot remover might not do the trick and you might need to bump up to a correction step. So just bear that in mind.
Adam S., this is a very specific, unique question, but I want to answer it because there might be others out there that have run into this or have a vehicle with this type of paint. Can you use a clay bar and ceramic liquid wax on BMW's frozen paint colors? So that's referring to the factory matte or matte to satin finishes that BMW uses. There's several manufacturers out there that are using factory matte finishes these days. Yes, you can decontaminate those surfaces. You really want to be careful and test in an inconspicuous area with anything you use on a factory matte paint finish to ensure that it's not altering the appearance of that finish. But I have used a standard paint cleaning clay on matte before. Ceramic liquid wax, I would definitely test it in a very small inconspicuous area. I would say it's probably going to add a little more gloss than what you're going to want on a matte surface. I've had good results with our ceramic 3-in-1 wax. My brother-in-law had a Mercedes AMG that was a factory matte black finish, and ceramic 3-in-1 wax did a great job. Didn't add any noticeable gloss to that finish, and helped get some good durable hydrophobic protection to help water spots from forming, which can be another big issue in matte because you can't polish it. So number one recommendation for any matte or satin finish, factory or vinyl or aftermarket, is test anything you're using in a very small inconspicuous area. Check that the appearance you're getting is either factory or what you're expecting before you go apply it to a large panel on a surface like that.
Yeah, because especially more glossy waxes can tend to enhance the surface more and make it look a little more of a satin finish as opposed to like a full matte. So really just making sure that that's something that you're happy with before you apply it to the entire vehicle.
Yes, and ceramic liquid wax is going to be in that glossy category. So although ceramic 3-in-1 will add gloss to already glossy paint as well, in my experience, didn't have any issues with it on that factory matte black. But again, test before you go crazy and start doing the whole car.
Yeah. Ken V asked, on the wipe off step, what would happen if you used ceramic 3-in-1 spray instead of water? More protection? We did touch on this a little bit yesterday, but I just want to nail it home because we've got a lot of questions. When I was going through these, a lot of them were about, can I use ceramic speed shine? Can I use ceramic 3-in-1, etc. to wipe the product off? We recommend sticking with water only, and the reason for that is when you're applying the wax and then wiping it off, it hasn't fully cured, right? There are chemicals that are, or there are chemical components, I guess, of the formula that are off-gassing over time, and that's what allows that wax to fully set up and cure to the surface, giving you the full durability that you would expect. And so if you're applying another layer of protection on top of that, it's preventing that from happening. Those chemicals or gases, I guess, that are being produced are essentially getting trapped, and then you're not able to get the full durability of the protection that you applied. So instead of trying to kill two birds with one stone in that way, just use water to wipe off, still give it the full 12 to 24 hours before introducing it to any other water or products. And then if you want to feed it with ceramic 3-in-1 or ceramic speed shine, or even use a rinsing aid, so use ceramic 3-in-1 or speed shine as a rinsing or drying aid, that would be a great way to feed that protection. But initial wipe off, strictly water.
Yep. Now let's see, we have Rick Smith asked, what's the longevity compared to non-ceramic wax? So of course that's going to depend on what non-ceramic wax product you're talking about. But just as an example or kind of a general observation, from what we've seen, our ceramic liquid wax, or our ceramic wax products, specifically ceramic liquid wax, ceramic 3-in-1 wax, and ceramic all-in-one, are gonna last, I would say, up to, if not slightly more than twice as long as a, like type Caruba or synthetic sealant.
I mean, this question probably was asked yesterday before we got to the durability demo. So if you want to see an actual real life demo, you can definitely check that out.
Great call, Stevie. But yeah, I would say, like, if you're going to compare ceramic liquid wax, like our best to show liquid wax, best to show, you're going to get 6 to 8 months. I would say in most cases. Ceramic liquid wax, you're going to get 12 plus in a lot of cases. Of course, that is all depending on the environment, how the vehicle's maintained, and so on. Just a couple kind of generalizations there.
Yep. Charles King asked, should I tape off all trim and moldings before applying the wax? That is recommended. However, with this specific wax, you're not going to get the white residue, but it will slightly darken the trim. So you're still going to end up with, say that normally you would have half moons of like white residue on the trim, you're gonna have slightly darker spots where you can see where it hit the trim. So still recommend taping it off. It's not gonna be the end of the world per se if you don't, but best case scenario, you would.
Yep. Now, Kyle Snow asked, what products are safe to use with ceramic liquid wax? Will iron and fallout, bug and smudge remover, or foaming surface prep degrade the coating? So yes. Iron and fallout is the only pH balanced solution of those three. It's not going to cause any noticeable degradation to a durable product like ceramic liquid wax. However, bug and smudge remover and foaming surface prep are both highly alkaline solutions, depending on how you use them. Either way, they're going to be a high pH and are going to cause some degradation of any protection that you have on the surface. That being said, one hit typically isn't gonna wear it all the way off, especially if it's something as durable as ceramic liquid wax, ceramic 3-in-1 wax. You would have to hit that several times, even with foaming surface prep 10 to 1. Like you guys saw on Wednesday night, when we were doing the durability testing, we were using foaming surface prep 10 to 1, went over the surface multiple times, and there was very little degradation of the ceramic liquid wax. But they will, over time, cause you to lose durability and repellency as you use those. So it's best to use pH balanced products when you're maintaining after application of a protectant. I will say though, on my vehicles in the winter time, if I've gone 3, 4, 5 weeks between washing, a lot of times I'll use foaming surface prep at least on belt line down, to knock out that heavy road grime a little bit easier, save myself time and energy. And that's not gonna knock out the protection that I have, but I do know that it will shorten the life over time. So typically I'll follow up a process like that with using ceramic speed shine as a rinse aid or drying aid once I'm done with that wash to add a little life back.
Yep. Ken V asked, does the ceramic liquid wax contain abrasives? No, it does not. It's 100% abrasive free, and we kind of dove into the chemistry of that last night, so definitely check that out if you want to hear that. And then Blaine 5700 asked, is it okay to use 3-in-1 ceramic wax over ceramic all-in-one as a detailer instead of ceramic speed shine? I seem to get much better results. It kind of depends on how you're asking this question. If you're asking as a true detailer to remove light dust, bird droppings, tree sap, fingerprint smudges, anything like that, if there's any dirt or filth of any kind on the surface, no. Ceramic speed shine has lubricants in it that'll help encapsulate and safely remove those from the surface, whereas ceramic 3-in-1 doesn't have that. It's strictly a protectant. So if you have any sort of dirt on the surface or filth, dust, whatever, ceramic 3-in-1 is not going to be what you want to start with. You're going to want to start with ceramic speed shine still.
Yep. Aaron Barr asks, is ceramic liquid wax safe on trim? We already answered that, but he also asked, can you apply it in direct sunlight or on a warm panel? I don't think we really covered that at all the other night. So my answer to that is going to be no. You're going to want to avoid applying this in direct sun or on a warm panel. Because it's a very durable product, it is kind of pushing the limits a little more. If you put it on a hot panel or in direct sun, you may have some issues with filminess, removing residue, and so on. So I would ideally try to do this on a cool surface, out of direct sun. Best case scenario, if you're gonna work a little quicker, do smaller sections, you may be able to get away with it, but there's gonna be more risk of running into issues, as there is really with any protectant out there. They're just gonna, you're gonna have more potential to have a hard time wiping off, get residue issues, things like that, if you're putting it on a hot panel or in direct sun.
Yes. Enthusiast asked, how does ceramic wax do on glass versus ceramic glass cleaner, asking specifically for non-front windshield windows. Either way, I wouldn't recommend using ceramic liquid wax on your glass, although you may get protection from it. That formula is not designed for use on glass, so it's going to be a little more tricky to wipe off, probably be a little more smeary and kind of weird than you want. And so I really would recommend sticking with the specific glass formulated protectant instead of using ceramic liquid wax on your glass.
Yep, definitely. HJKK asked, how is this different from the 3-in-1 ceramic spray wax or 3-in-1 ceramic wax? I think that's probably going to be one of our most popular questions we get about ceramic liquid wax. Main things are going to be, the application and wipe off experience are different. It's more of a traditional style wax in terms of how you apply it and remove it. And then the other big differentiator is durability. This is going to be more durable than ceramic 3-in-1 wax. Other than that, I think you do get a little bit more gloss out of ceramic liquid wax than you do ceramic 3-in-1 wax as well. So that's another plus. But those are the three main differentiations there.
Yeah, and then tying off the end of that, we have Jay Smith asking, can this be used in conjunction with 3-in-1 spray wax? And it can, especially as like in a layering sense, you can. Ceramic liquid wax would ideally be your base coat so that you get that full durability, and then you can apply ceramic 3-in-1 on top of that if so desired. But they do play well together in the sense of applying them both to the surface.
Yep. Brian McHale asked, how much more durable than all-in-one? I'd say it's not going to be like twice as durable as all-in-one or anything like that, but it is noticeable from what we've seen. You're going to get a few more months out of ceramic liquid wax. It's going to be a little more resistant to high alkaline detergents, things like that, and the environment. So not drastic. You're not getting double the life out of your ceramic liquid wax, but it is more durable.
Scott Dayhoff asked, can you send my order in discreet packaging so I don't get in trouble? I think you're just gonna have to be a little nicer to your wife. Start rubbing her feet or something, I don't know. Maybe then she won't care. Gregory Northup asked, I use the ceramic polish and the 3-in-1 ceramic spray. Where does the ceramic quick spray fall in your lineup? So ceramic speed shine isn't going to be as durable as either of those. It does still give you ultra hydrophobic, self-cleaning capabilities, all of the things that you love about ceramic protection, aside from that extended durability that you would get from the the protectant specific products, like ceramic liquid wax.
Charles King asked, should I use a red pad with my orbital? Yes, you should. The red wax pad is going to be the best pad type to use, whether you're doing it by hand or on a random orbital. I know we had another question in here about what are the benefits or differences to machine application versus hand. Really, as with any strict protectant, the main benefit to applying it via machine is going to be time savings. You're going to be able to cover ground faster. Get it laid down quicker over the whole surface. So that's really it. Outside of that, you can get just as good of a result hand applying a wax or protectant as you can machine applying it. It's just really a matter of time. I tend to dictate the decision on how big the surface is. If I'm doing a small car, I'll sometimes do it by hand, especially if I've just done paint correction. It's nice to put the tool down and kind of piece out. Relax a little bit. If I'm doing something big, SUV, truck, boat, RV, I'll typically stick to the machine for application just to get it done faster.
Yeah, one of the questions that we had was in reference to if I use it with an orbital, is that going to give it correcting capabilities? And the answer is no. Even if you use this with an orange foam pad, which is going to be a little more aggressive than the red, it doesn't have the abrasives that you want in order to get that defect removal. So really, using it with an orbital is just speeding up the process and covering larger surfaces better.
Yeah, if you want defect removal and protection, That's what ceramic all-in-one's for.
Yep. Dennis C. asked, can I layer ceramic liquid wax over existing Best of Show liquid Caruba wax, or do I have to completely remove the Caruba? You could layer it, but again, the base layer is what you're gonna get the durability of, and so you will get the lifespan of the Best of Show, and then you do have that enhanced color depth and clarity from that protectant, but putting the ceramic on top of it, you're gonna get that ultra hydrophobic finish. You're just not gonna get the durability because of that base coat. So bear that in mind whenever you're layering protectants. Ideally, you would remove the Best of Show wax and apply the ceramic liquid wax, but that's up to you to decide.
Damani Detailing asks, any fillers in this product? We covered that the other night. No, there are not any fillers intentionally added to ceramic liquid wax, but it does have some inherent filling capability that we showed you during that application demo, and that it helped hide some of the haze that we intentionally left behind on that hood to show that aspect of the product. So still best to get the finish as perfect as you can, but if you do have a little bit of haze or micro marring left behind, ceramic liquid wax will help hide that, keep it from being as obvious.
Yes. Jim asked, does it dust if first removed without a wet microfiber? No, wiping it with a dry microfiber really just is a little more smeary than is ideal. And that's why we recommend the wet wipe off, not only for that reason, but then because that wet wipe off actually enhances the bonding of the protectant. So wet wipe off is recommended. You could do dry wipe off. It's not the end of the world. It's just not going to be the best experience for you, and you're not probably going to get the same durability.
Yeah, it'll just be a little harder to remove with the dry wipe off. Like Stevie said, it can absolutely be done. We did it in testing, but liked the overall experience of that two-step wet then dry process. And it really doesn't take more time. It sounds like an added step, but when you're doing it, typically you're wiping a wax off with one side of a towel or one towel and then coming in with a separate towel or flipping your first towel to do a final buff anyways. So it's really that exact same amount, just your initial wipe is with that damp microfiber. So it's not really much extra work, if any.
David Wilson asked, why do you recommend this versus the old school Caruba? And I think that's an interesting point to hit on. There's no one best protectant, at least in my opinion. It really depends on the situation and the vehicle that it's being applied to. If you have a vehicle that's a garage queen, strictly a show car, doesn't see rain or any bad conditions, Best of Show wax is perfect, and it's going to give you that deep, crisp, really glossy color, the color depth and clarity that you love from Best of Show waxes or our Best of Show line. So there's no harm in that wax. It's just a matter of determining how often the vehicle is driven, in what conditions, how it's stored, etc., to determine which wax is going to be the best for you. If you are looking for a durable wax, and especially one that has the hydrophobic and self-cleaning capabilities that the ceramic liquid wax does, that's obviously a great option, especially demonstrated by our demo yesterday where we compared the different types of waxes. But the Caruba wax is still going to give you a really, really nice look, and especially for a vehicle that's not seeing those conditions, great option.
Yep. Lakes Country Detailer asks, when using the ceramic all-in-one with polisher and pad, it seems like the pad is still coated with the material. Should I only be using these pads with the ceramic products? That's a great guideline to follow. We're always honest with you guys, and from that standpoint, ceramic liquid wax, ceramic all-in-one wax are difficult to get out of your pads. Whether you're doing it with a red wax pad, orange foam pad, microfiber pad, I'd say microfibers are a little easier to clean, but in any case, it's tough to get out of the pad. So, you're rarely gonna get it all the way out. If you do wanna get it all the way out, you're gonna be spending a lot of time. Let that pad soak in hot water. I like doing my initial soak with Dawn, add a little microfiber foam pad cleaner, let it soak 30 minutes to an hour, come back, spray it with microfiber pad cleaner directly, microfiber and foam pad cleaner, excuse me, and then heavily agitate, rinse out, and repeat that process if necessary. But it is very tough to get out of the pads completely, so good rule of thumb, redesignate those pads. You know, you can Sharpie on the back of them, ceramic or C3-in-1 or something, CAIO, something like that. Sorry, you wouldn't use ceramic 3-in-1 with a pad, but label it is what I'm saying, so that you know, okay, I'm going to use this with the same product next time. Not the end of the world if you forget and use it with something else. Typically, you know, you're not going to cause any significant issues, but it's a good rule to follow.
And that kind of plays off Tim Callahan's question, which is he was at a class last Saturday but didn't hear if there's any special cleaning needed for the pads and towels. How long can it be on a pad or towel before it becomes a problem? Overnight? I would say really I wouldn't go any longer than overnight, because that's when it's going to probably be at least mostly dry. I would say right away, right after you're done with the detail, is going to be best case scenario. The longer it sits, the higher chance that you're going to have a little more problem getting it out.
Yep. I like this question. It's real straightforward and simple. Noel asked, why is it called ceramic? So that's a good one. The main reason that it's called ceramic is because of the silicon dioxide, or SiO2 content in the formula. Justifies that ceramic name. You know, it contains ceramic technology. It has a lot of the characteristics of similar ceramic products, where you get the intense water beating, explosive, you know, hydrophobic reaction when it's hit with water, and enhanced durability, self-cleaning ability. I would say those are the main characteristics of a ceramic protectant. We are not by any means trying to say it is a ceramic coating. It is a ceramic infused product, not a higher solids ceramic coating. But that's why it's called ceramic. All of our products that carry the ceramic in the name contain, you know, some level of silicon dioxide or SiO2 in the active ingredient package that imparts those protective characteristics to the surface.
Yes. Gregory Northup asked, is the ceramic liquid wax a good final step for a 3-step solution? It absolutely would be. And then Jim asked what the shelf life is of this product, and typically all of our liquids, we approximate about 5 years, but typically they'll last quite a bit longer. You just want to give it a nice shake, test it in an inconspicuous area, make sure that it's still performing as expected, and typically they'll last quite a long time, especially if stored properly. You know, if they're enduring some weird conditions, you're allowing them to freeze in the winter and then thaw out, definitely might not get as long out of them, but if stored properly, they'll last quite a while.
Yep. So we're running out of time here. Of course, we didn't get through all of your questions. You guys are so great at asking all of these questions, but I think we did a pretty good job. We got through a lot. So it's always tough to answer them all, you guys, but please keep asking them. You know, we see you out there. We appreciate the interaction and engagement, and we love hearing the questions. It's good to know what you guys are wondering about, the issues you guys are having out there. So keep on asking those questions. It always enters you for a chance to win a giveaway. And on that note, our last giveaway is going to be Owen Samuels. He asked a great question. I don't know that I've seen him on here before. May have been in these before. If it is your first time, congratulations. Thanks for being here. He asked, how important is it to fully polish and correct your paint like you would for a hard ceramic coating? Will defects, scratches, swirls, etc. be more pronounced? Awesome question. Really, it's going to be dictated on the condition of the paint, of course. I would say it's not as critical to do paint correction and get that paint perfect prior to application of ceramic liquid wax, because
it has filling capabilities slightly in the formula.
Yeah, and it's easier to remove than a hard coating. With a high solids coating, the reason it's so important to get that paint perfect is because you would have to polish or sand that coating off to remove a defect after it's applied. With this, you're going to be able to polish through it and get defect removal without a whole lot of trouble. Mm-hmm. That being said, I would still recommend, if you want your vehicle and your paint to look the best, do that paint correction, get those defects out, and then apply a good durable protectant, help enhance that finish, give it a darker, glossier appearance with a good durable protectant like ceramic liquid wax. So.
Yeah. To the part of the question where he's asking if it's going to amplify those defects, no, it will help hide them a little bit. It's not going to work miracles, so don't expect anything crazy, but it does help hide those a little bit. But ideally, yes, like Sam said, you're going to want to remove those defects first.
Yeah, so Owen Samuels, email us at winners@griotsgarage.com and we'll get you hooked up with your ceramic liquid wax application kit. Comes with some towels and pads for applying and removing that product. I'm going to answer one more of his questions. It's a good one to finish off with. He asks, after application, what's the best following weekly maintenance wash? Ceramic speed shine, question mark. When or would you use ceramic 3-in-1? So all good questions. I love that you guys are liking the ceramic system and wanting to use those products together. That's how we built them. That's how we intend for you to use them. So I would say, yeah, I mean, weekly, probably, you don't need to do it weekly, but say bi-weekly or monthly, ceramic speed shine or a wash with ceramic wash and coat is going to be a great way to keep your ceramic liquid wax extremely durable, extremely hydrophobic. And then you could layer ceramic 3-in-1 over it. I would say, a good kind of refresh period would be like 6 months down the road, 8 months down the road. It may be starting to lose some of that explosive hydrophobicity. Should still be protecting very well, but that can be a good time to apply a product like ceramic 3-in-1 to boost that durability and those characteristics. So that's.
Yep.
Any more you're chomping at the bit to answer before we sign off?
I think we're good.
All right, well, thank you all for joining for No Questions Left Behind. Thank you for all of your questions. You guys are great. We really appreciate it. If you haven't already, get down there, subscribe, give us a like, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future YouTube content, including the lives and these No Questions Left Behind. So we will see you in April for our next live event. What date is that again, Matt?
April 17th.
April 17th. I'm doing bad with remembering those dates right now. So tune in April 17th where we talk about basic washing tips.
And remember, 20% off all liquid car care.
Yeah,
Liquid 20, that's good through the 26th.
Liquid 20, get on there. Thank you all for joining. Have fun in your garage.